I call on the European Parliament to approve the Turnberry Agreement between the United States of America and the European Union. This is a very reasonable approach. I know you're all very excited and you want to show off how strong we are in the European Parliament, but you made big fools out of yourself in these times of war when you voted against the Mercosur, and you should not repeat that again. It's now important to get the agreement, the Turnberry Agreement of this summer, approved, because we don't want a trade war with the United States of America. We are mutually invested. We are the West, we are the free world, and we want to stay united and we want to stay strong. And of course, this deal is far from perfect, like no other. But it's the same people who are now calling against the Turnberry Agreement, who were torpedoing the TTIP agreement 10 years ago. And I am calling for a free trade agreement between the United States of America and the European Union since 2000. And I was making it possible as SME Union Secretary General in 2004. That's 21 years ago, 22 years ago, that the EPP voted at the Congress in 2004 in favor of such an agreement. And it was you, the protectionist, the isolationist, the fools, the crazy ones who opposed that agreement. And now you want to sink it because of Greenland? Greenland was solved by NATO and the Secretary General. Guys, your anti-Americanism is hurting us. It's stinking, and you should get a grip and get this going, dear parliamentarians in the European Parliament. And the vote must be scheduled and in the committee and move to the plenary. And then I want to see you vote yes, because it's by far the best deal and it's all justifiable. This 15% get a really bad impression. But, there was a consistent kind of protectionism from the European Union side. This is true. And of course, we have a VAT system. The Americans don't have it. So the 15% are justified. Yes, that's the truth. And I'm, of course, calling the OECD members to have all a VAT system since years. And America should have a VAT system and then cancel the 15% of taxes towards and not have taxes between OECD members. Very good idea. I've all said that. But it was the EU not doing it. It was the EU not doing it for decades. This kind of free trade agenda, which we now, under the pressure of the Russian war and American protectionism, we are gradually doing, like we have it in Mercosur, and you voted against it, like we have it now in India, and I'm sure the same people will be against the Indian agreement. And now, please, let's get a grip and let's vote yes to this agreement between the United States of America and the European Union. That's the only rational thing to do, and that's very important. And we don't need a trade war now between the two pillars of the West ahead of the Iran liberation and when we must be united for Ukraine. And that's, of course, the biggest task which we have to do to liberate Ukraine. And focus your ire on Putin. He's the enemy and not Trump. And let's be economically sound and reasonable. We have trillions of mutual investments between the US and the EU, and you all know it. It's huge capital mutually invested. Our economies are very much interlinked, and that's good. So the whole nationalistic kind of European, we do sovereignty now, is all humbug. Guys, let's get going and let's build good companies that succeed in the US and in America with good services and decent offers in price and quality, and then we will succeed, and not with nationalistic jingoism from the Europeans, which will only hurt our consumers. And so please approve this agreement now. Thanks a lot. All the best here from Pax Europiana. Let's support me on Patreon, please. Let's subscribe on my podcast and also do the whole support mechanism which you have. You can send me funds, you can send me support, you can endorse me, you can subscribe me on Spotify, all the things. The voice of reason must be heard, and you in the European Parliament, you are not the voice of reasons in 2026. You have not invited the Shah, you have voted against Mercosur, and now you do anti-American populism. This is no good at the moment, and you must be responsible in time of war and get going really seriously. Thanks a lot here from Vienna. Bye.